Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So to continue with today's lesson, we'll finish up with the grammar. And grammar is always a little bit trickier to think about, but easier to remember in the long term. So that's why the practice for grammar is not necessarily as important on a day-to-day basis. The vocabulary we really have to focus on day-to-day. Grammar, once you understand it the first time, after that usually you automatically think about it when you read the Quran even. Once you know the grammar lesson, some people do, some people just ignore it. For example, after we learned about ism, fi'l and harf, hopefully when you read the Quran, you looked at some small word and you decided, is this ism or is this harf? That's what I would do. I don't know about you guys. Usman, did you do that? Did you look at a word and say, is it ism or harf? And you're kind of confused and then you found the right answer and you told Hazim? No? Okay. I guess I'm the only one who does that. I don't know. So this is combining lessons 3 through 6. I did it the first time the same exact way, and people still, I don't know, they didn't get the concept. So I decided I was going to do just one lesson at a time for these 3 instead of combining these 3 lessons. But then I looked at the lessons that were really easy, so I combined them again. Okay? I don't know, maybe I'm not a good teacher, but just keep up step to step. It's only one concept. Okay, the concept is ism dhamir, and it goes through lesson from 3 to 6. But it's just how to use this ism, special type of ism, in different contexts. That's all it is. It's the same ism. It's just in different contexts. Okay, I'll try to get examples from the ayahs that we already did because that'll make it easier to learn. All right, let's continue. So again, like I said, we're talking about ism dhamir. Ism dhamir. It's a type of ism. And it refers to another ism. It takes the place of another ism. You can talk your entire life, whether it's in English or Arabic, without ever using ism dhamir. You don't need them. They're not required. But you would sound like this. Zayd went to the market. Zayd bought a book. Zayd read the book. Zayd gave it to Hazim. Hazim learned from the book. Oh, I said it. Whoops. Zayd gave the book to Hazim. Hazim liked the book. So you see how the conversation becomes very quickly. So instead of referring to the book and me, I can say he and it. With that comes some issues sometimes because you use them too much and people don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so again, just in usage terms, if you ever plan on speaking in Arabic, I don't know, sometime in the future, just make sure you know how to use the harf. Ism dhamir. For our purposes, it's going to be very easy to recognize ism dhamir. Let me say that again. The recognition of ism dhamir in a mushaf when you're reading. If I tell you, open this page, look for all ism dhamir, you guys should have no problem after today. Okay, basically you just have to memorize huwa, hum. There's 8 different ism dhamir that are detached, 8 that are attached, and of those 8, 4 are the same as from before. So it's very, there's a small vocabulary list, you just go and pick out. If they match, you pick them up, and you know where they are. But that's not the point of the grammar lesson. Grammar should enhance your understanding, not just be an extra thing to memorize. So the points afterwards that I'm making on the next few slides have nothing to do with just recognition. There are only 2 slides with examples. So you can use recognition. Okay, I've written down all the words that are ism dhamir, or most of the common ones. But that's not the point again. The point is to know why they're used and how they're used. So that's going to be more of the focus of the lesson. So again, the pen is big, it is yellow. So instead of saying the pen again, I used it. And the same sentence in Arabic. Al-qalamu kabir huwa asfar. It. In English, you have a difference between it and he and she. In Arabic, you have a difference between he/it, they are the same, and she/it. It's just gender difference. There's a difference in gender, not a difference in living and dead. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. So huwa also means he, and also means it. And we'll go over that when we go over all the examples. But the important thing for this slide is that it just takes the place of another word. Okay. Two types. In Arabic, there are two types of ism dhamir. There's the one that is by itself, and there's one that's attached. Again, let me repeat. The recognition of these words is very simple. If it's connected to another word, it's attached. Obviously, that's where it got its meaning from. If it's disconnected, it's detached. The point is to know when and why one is attached and one is detached. Why can't you use detached in this place? So munfasil is the independent one. Independent one. It comes by itself, not attached to another word. Why do you use it? This is the important thing. To start a sentence or start a phrase or start a thought. That is, if you use it as detached, you are starting a new thought. And that pronoun is the subject of your thought. It is a pen. The sentence is talking about it. I found a ball. I hit it. That is not talking about the ball. It's talking about I. What did I do? I hit it. Then you don't use a detached pronoun. The independent is big. It's strong. The sentence is talking about that word. So, and it's an easy way to recognize whether or not you should use it. If the pronoun is going to be grammatically related to the word that came before it, you don't use detached, you use attached. So if it's not related to the word that came, directly related to the word, not even the sentence, because many things are related to the sentence that came before. Hopefully, when you say a sentence, it's related to the sentence before, otherwise nobody's understanding what you're saying. But it's not grammatically linked to the word that came directly before. And I'll tell you what I mean by that in a moment. So again, these are examples of ism dhamir munfasil. You just have to memorize this entire table. But let's give you some examples, just so you can understand what the difference is. Ulaika humul muflihun. This you had in the word to word. Ulaika humul muflihun. I purposely picked this example because it doesn't start the sentence, but it's about. That's what the sentence is about. And it's not grammatically linked to the word before. In fact, we say that the word before is extraneous in English. It's extra. We don't even need it. Okay, so humul muflihun makes that much sense. It's just in Arabic, not only for emphasis, but just because sentence structure. Humul muflihun can mean something slightly different than just they are the successful ones. Okay, so, but the sentence is about whom. That's why it's detached. Let's see if there's examples of huwa. Well, huwa talib. I'll just use regular examples. The reason I used this example here is because hum and antum are used very, very often in the Quran. The hum and the antum. The third person plural masculine. The second person plural masculine. Very often in the Quran. I can probably find many examples, but the other ones are kind of rare. Let's see if they're... Ala innahum humus sufaha. Shayatinihim. Oh, so there's a bunch of examples, but let's just make up examples. Hunna nisa. It's a very simple example. They are women. So how did I divide? First, let me kind of describe how I divide this table. This is first person. Below this, first person. First person. This is the second person. This is third person. Okay? So those are the boxes. This is singular, going up this way. All of these are singular. All of these are plural or dual. Okay, and the dual ones I marked right here. Dual, dual. Okay? And then there's masculine. The first line of each row is masculine. The second line is feminine, and dual is the same for both. So masculine, feminine. This is anta, this is anti. And the first person doesn't have a distinguishing between masculine and feminine. Okay? So that's how I divide the table. And I would encourage you to come up with examples for each one of these. I don't know how important it is. If you want me, I can do a few more examples. نحن أولياء نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. It's in the Quran. نحن أولياؤكم. I don't know how helpful these examples are because you probably can't even understand my writing. Oh, okay, let's try that again. أولياؤكم. Okay, أولياؤكم means protectors. We are your protectors في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. أنا اسمي زيد. My name is Zaid. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم. Very good. Who is the sentence talking about? It's talking about Ana. It's talking about I. I am بشر مثلكم. Okay? It's simple, straightforward, not too much. You'll think it's straightforward until you have to figure out why each one is attached or detached. So let's go to the attached then. Okay? So attached to the previous word. Why will it be attached? It's related grammatically to the word that comes before it, like I said. So it either receives a verb, receives a preposition, meaning the word before it is a verb or preposition, or it denotes possession. طغيانهم. You guys like that word from I don't know why you guys caught on to that word, but طغيانهم shows possession. طغيانهم. طغيانهم. Their transgression. Whose transgression? My transgression? Their transgression. It shows possession. This is a noun coming before. Noun comes before. So let me ask the question. What comes before in each case? What is it attached to? Okay, it's attached to the end. Always attached to the end of what? Either a verb, a preposition, or a noun. And in that case, it's either receiving the verb, receiving the preposition, or possessing the noun. Not a jinn style possession, just ownership style possession. Okay, so these are the words that you use to attach. When you need an attached version, it's the same way I divide the table. Okay? طغيانهم, for example. طغيانهم is an example of a noun coming before. It's attached to a noun. So it denotes possession. How about with the same hum attached, can I do one that denotes, that receives a verb? Yes, from the same today's lesson. يَمُدُّهُمْ. It's receiving the action of the verb يَمُدُّ. He extends them. Extends what? Or whom? Extends them. So it's receiving yamud. Okay? Pretty simple. And you do the same thing down. There's kum here too. Let's see, where's kum? I saw a kum just now. Inna ma'akum. Ma'akum. We are with you. Now what is this ma? Harf. Jar. Preposition. Harf. Jar. Okay? Ma'akum is with you. With whom? With you. It's receiving the preposition. You can do that with fi. Fikum. Fina. Alayna. Alayna, you've heard that a lot in the Quran. Let's see, any more examples that are easily found here?
Possession example again.
Possession example, okay. I'm sure there's more here. Oh, let me do a verb example. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا. زادهم الله. Allah increased them. زادهم. زادهم. He increased them. Okay, and somebody asked for a possession example. Possession example, you can even make one very easily. But قلوبهم, we had ختم الله على قلوبهم. Okay, again, hum and him come a lot in the Quran. The third person plural is ubiquitous. قلوبهم. قلوبهم قلوبهم. Qulub is hearts. Him is an attached. Ism, Damir, Muttasil. Why is it attached? It's denoting possession. Whose hearts? Khatamallahu ala qulub. Allah sealed hearts. Which hearts? Their hearts. Khatamallahu ala qulubihim. Their hearts. Wa ala sam'ihim. Their sight. Wa ala absarihim. Or their hearing. Wa ala absarihim. Their sights. All of these are possession. Because all the ones that qulub is a ism, sam' is a ism, absar is ism. So after ism, if it's attached to ism, it's possession. If it's attached to fi'l, it's receiving the action of the fi'l. If it's attached to harf, it's after a preposition receiving the preposition. Okay, that's lessons 3 to 6. That's it. Attached, detached, and why. That's all it is. So if we don't have any more questions, we can practice. The best way to practice this, go through the Quran, find every single attached, detached pronoun. They're all over the place. It doesn't matter if you don't see these. Okay, you don't have to. You can just use hum. But the point is not, again, not to just straight memorize this. You have to do that because I'm going to ask you that on the homework. But to know why it's attached and why it's detached. So explain that to yourself. Even if you can only find hum, because hum is all over the Quran. For every hum that you find or kum, why is it attached? Why is it detached? You know it's them or you, but why? Okay. So subhanakallahumma bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik.